Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout Podcast.
Whoop whoop.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
And tonight we have another one of the High Class Trash Build-Off Invitational builders, Mr. Joey Woodall. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. How about you guys?
Oh, just living a dream down here in Florida. It's probably warmer here than it is where you're at.
Yeah, it's actually been nice the last couple of days up here in Kansas. I mean, I know you guys got almost perfect weather besides hurricanes, but...
You know... It has been this year. Me and Ashley were just talking about that before we hopped on here. And this year, it seems to have been a little bit better weather. But we still don't have perfect weather. I like that you said that we have perfect weather, but that road trip. Well, I do, like, whenever we invited people to, like, the show, our hangout, I always say, like, the weather here is better than anywhere you're at. And then I went on that road trip back in May to the West Coast, and now their weather is better than ours.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We were in Santa Maria for 3 days, and you wake up, it's 65, and about noon, you're in shorts and flip-flops, and it's 70, and that's it. Like, it
Dang, okay. All right.
It never rains, but the one bad thing about that is you'll see a bunch of really cool cars, but no one thinks your stuff is cool because it's normal.
Gotcha. Okay.
I drove a custom 55 Crown Vic to the gas station, and, like, you know, here you pull up at a gas station and somebody's going to talk to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I pull up, I lay the 55 out, and I'm walking across the parking lot, and nobody says a word. And I'm like, this is so disheartening. This is the baddest.
Yeah, that would be hard to get used to, for sure.
And we had went to a lowrider family after the cruise, and one of the young ladies there was like, one of the daughters was like, "What are y'all here for?" And I was like, "There's a car show. Like, it's a giant car show." And she's like, "Oh, there's a car show going on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, I just seen probably 700 of the baddest cars I've ever seen in my entire life. And this lady doesn't even know there's a car show going on." And later the dad explained to us, he's like, that's because that's every day. Like, the Model A's and the customs and all that, like, that's their dailies.
Jeez, okay. All right. Well, I mean, with weather like that, you can drive them all the time, I guess.
He goes, it doesn't snow, it doesn't rain, it's, you know. And also, California is one of the only states where you're like 2 hours away from any weather you want. Like, you can go surfing in the morning, go snowboarding in the afternoon. You know, it's a day trip.
That's nuts.
But so
weather here in Kansas, you know, I mean, it'll be 81 day and then have 2 foot of snow the next. Like,
but
so yeah, it's a little different.
And I always say, you know, we have the unique advantage that we get to cruise all year round. You know, we might have a rainstorm or something like that, but you know, there's not really a month that we don't have something going on. But we don't have the winter to build cars. So, like, once a car comes out, it's out. Because you don't ever, like, you say you're going to take it back apart, but you never do. Because there's another show next weekend. Yeah, if you're able to
enjoy it all the time, you know.
There's another show next weekend, or you're like, oh, I really need to do this to it. And it's like, it can wait. And it never gets done. But
yeah,
what originally got you into cars?
So it might be a little lengthy one here, but I'll shoot for it. So basically, whenever I was growing up, I mean, my grandpa, you know, he had a 67 Chevelle SS 396. It was a bad unit. Never heard it run or anything. It was just, it looked awesome to me. Loved it growing up, just seeing it. Then he had a 74 Stingray. It was a sweet looking car, and he'd actually given me the car whenever I was 18. And I will tell you, I feel bad about it to this day. I'd met this girl. I ended up driving that vet over to her house. Didn't have license. License plate was off of a 2002 Chevy truck. No insurance, no nothing. Drove it over to Inola, Oklahoma, and tried showing off a little bit. Went around the corner sideways and didn't realize it was in front of the police station. So got that car impounded and ended up losing it. Couldn't come up with the title or nothing. And after that, I had found a 71 C10 on Marketplace. And I'll step back a little bit, but I'd met this girl and went to her church for the first time. And one of the first services I went to, they were talking about a boy that was diagnosed with cancer. And his name was Braxton Lambert. And actually saw a ad on Facebook that they were doing a benefit car show for him. And it was called the Burnout on 66. And so I found this 71 C10. I told my wife, Samantha, at the time, or really my girlfriend at the time, I told her, I said, I want to do this. I'd like to put a truck in there and do the burnout contest, and end up buying this old beat up truck for $400. Put a 350 Chevy in it for another $400. And on the side of it, I put Team Braxton and just named it the Braxton truck. Brought it out to the show. First car show I had ever entered in my life, and had a great time. Did the burnout, got to meet Braxton and got to meet his parents a little bit better, Jared and Shelby. And I had Braxton sign the door on it. And it was probably, I would say, 5 or 6 months that he had actually passed away that next year from brain cancer. And I just really wanted to keep that truck going. So we brought it to car shows, married Samantha, brought to car shows, brought paint markers, and just let everybody sign their name on it. It was just an old rust bucket truck. I mean, that just had a lot more meaning behind it. And it just really got me involved in the car world, especially with the rat rodder guys, because, you know, I had this piece of junk that I was proud of myself, but somebody else would look at and be like, all right, this guy's nuts. That thing's a pile. But they were so welcoming, and they would just bring you in, and I mean, they would just come up and talk to you like you had known them for years. And I thought that was one of the coolest things. So we continued going to car shows, and I mean, it just got better and bigger each time. The truck was constantly changing. And so really got involved with that show the next year. Burn On 66 became part of it. And what they do at that show is, actually this past year was the biggest year that we've had. And as far as the money that we raise, but we raise the money and then we give all the proceeds to a local family that has a kid that's fighting cancer. So the first year that we did the show, we made $5,800, and this past October show, we made $32,000.
Awesome.
So we were able to give all that money to a local family. And a lot of people, what they don't realize is when these kids are fighting cancer, you know, their parents are out of work. They got all these travel expenses. Your bills still come every month.
Oh yeah.
So we were able to give that money to them and just really help them out. So it's cool seeing a piece of steel, just old rust bucket, or just, I mean, even the shinier car guys, like we get out there and we're all out there to have a good time. But whenever it comes when somebody's in need, I feel like every one of us will step out of that comfort zone and try to help them best we can. So that got me really involved in it. That's kind of what stepped me into the whole car world, was that truck and that boy's story, really.
Yeah, that's awesome that you were able, or that y'all are able to get that support and, you know, for make a positive difference in the lives of families that are going through that.
And it's something that we definitely enjoyed at the time. And 2021 December, I mean, COVID was out and all that crap like that. But me and my wife, we had COVID at the time, and she ended up passing away from it. So after that, I could not really, I mean, that truck was very hard for me to continue doing what I was doing in that truck alone. So I was able to give that vehicle to Braxton's parents, Jared and Shelby, and now he continues to change it and bring it to car shows and make that positive impact with that truck alone. So that was probably one of the coolest moments, being able to do that. So after that happened in December and everything with Samantha, I was started a different car that was supposed to be for her. It was a 61 Volkswagen Beetle. Ended up making a custom frame, did a big rat rod build with it, and then just kind of continued building and building on different vehicles after that. And now I'm with my wife now that she says she's not as lucky to be able to see all these cars in the driveway, but I think secretly she kind of loves it. But and now I got my little boy, being able to have him out there helping me. Just he's 2 years old now, and I mean, even if he doesn't know what he's doing, just getting his hands dirty, I love watching that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's passing it on, and we need more of that, because eventually, you know, I hate seeing the iPad shoved in a kid's face, or, you know, they don't want to go outside and run around, and, you know, whether it's a little boy or a little girl, you know, get them out and enjoying, you know, as a family. You know, it's always easier when your significant other enjoys the cars too. That helps.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, but
seeing these little kids go crazy over something like that, it's just, man, it warms your heart up pretty good.
Well, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, kids that you encounter have never seen the cars that we have. So it looks like a spaceship. No, I mean, it looks out of this world, because they're used to, you know, plastic cars. You know, these cars look like Hot Wheels to them.
Exactly. It's like those little drawings that you make when you're in second grade. Like, It just comes to life on some of them. So it's neat seeing their faces like light up whenever they see it, especially when you tell them to just go hop in it. I mean, they go nuts over that.
So we
always have a good time on that.
Yeah. So you said that your wife is, even though she doesn't show it, is happy about the fleet of cars in the driveway. So currently, what's the favorite car?
Right now, honestly, I don't know if she has it. Well, it'd be the Model A that I got. So I got 28 Model A. It's sitting on a Willys Jeep chassis, and it's lifted up in the air and all that. And it's a blast to drive. I get her suckered into driving it sometimes or riding with me. And, you could see whenever she's smiling, like, I know she enjoys it. I think she gets enjoyment out of also me enjoying it too, because it's always a blast.
Well, what is your favorite car that y'all own? Would it still be the Model A?
Yeah, it would be the Model A. So I only got two at this time. I mean, the past ones I've sold, but I got the Model A, and then the one that I'm building now is a 54 Oldsmobile, and it's on a four-wheel drive 94 Dodge frame, 2500 frame. So I think it'll be neat when it's done.
Okay.
Just because I'm a lot more passionate about this one. I won't put the time into it. And I think being able to look back at it when it's done, it'll probably be my favorite.
What's the plan for it?
So the original plan was to put a 12-valve Cummins in it.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Kansas, it's pretty hard to find local people that have just junk laying around. And when they do have that junk laying around, it's worth gold. And I'm somebody that could probably put $50 or $60 into a car each week. So it's hard for me to go spend $3,000 on an engine.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that I do, I just I trade or barter with or work off. And so what's in it now is a LS. It's 5.3 LS with 4L60E. And just pulled out of the truck last week, set it in last night to get all the mounts and everything figured out. Hopefully get everything welded up, and then I'm going to take apart the engine, reseal it, do everything on it. That way I feel a little bit more comfortable about hopping in it and just driving all the way to Mississippi, because 650 miles down there. I mean, I want to make sure that this thing's solid. Yeah. So, but as far as the drivetrain, it'll just be an LS with a automatic, and then it will be four-wheel drive. So the body that's on it now, I already have it mounted. The floor pan it's at my boy, he's 2, and he can walk underneath it. So, nice. I mean, it's sitting up pretty tall. It's almost stupid tall, but it'll be fun for sure.
So, with it being four-wheel drive, are you going to go with a a more aggressive tire, or is it just to be lifted?
So right now it's kind of it's got an aggressive tread on it right now, and it looks pretty good, but the tires they're pretty low on tread. So seeing it with the aggressive look right now, it would be hard to go to a street tread. So it'll probably be an all-terrain or
okay,
kind of like a light aggressiveness to it, but I would like to keep an aggressive tire on it.
You going to do any body mods other than, obviously what you had to do to make it fit on that Dodge frame?
There is no floor. All it is shell. There's no floor pans in it, nothing like that. So picked up bead rolling for the first time a couple weeks ago. And I tell you what, man, I will give everybody credit that knows how to do that and has the patience for it. I'm not a patient guy when it comes to this. So learning that was an awesome skill to have, but it's so tedious trying to figure it out. But once I got the trunk done looking at it, I was pretty proud of it. But again, that's something that I give credit to anybody that can do it and just knock it out like it's nothing. Because I underestimated it quite a bit.
Well, when Ashley goes back and edits this, she will laugh at that statement because it was 2 Christmases ago I got a bead roller. Yeah. And
so you probably know what I'm saying.
I perfectly identify with you because, and I've said it about other stuff too. It's, I'm usually pretty decent at stuff, and bead roll made me question if I could do it. And, because that
is a very true statement.
I'm usually pretty much like out of the box. I can watch people do stuff and I can sort of understand what they're doing. Bead rolling took me a little while.
Yeah. And I know probably like most guys, like you YouTube something, you build up in your head like, all right, man, I can knock this out. And then when you get it and you're like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. And that was that moment. Whenever I put the switch, I was like, all right, this is nuts. So, but picking up a new skills, it's awesome to do.
Yeah.
So.
And when we got it, it was, it's an Eastwood, but it had the hand crank. So I had her out there cranking it while I'm trying to keep it steady. And
Yep.
And then we upgraded to the motor pretty quick because I was like, I was
fortunate
necessary.
enough to be able to start with the motor. So I was lucky enough not have to deal with the hand crank. So I can only imagine that was even farther fetched trying to figure it out.
Well,
awesome job to her though for going out there and like doing that,
it was kind of like a trade-off. I would do like one line and then it'd be like, okay, now you do one line because I'm going to crank, and then, okay, my arm's tired, so let's switch. And so,
yeah.
And then I had, Sean Rose with Rose Metalworks on, and he's giving me tips and pointers, and I'm like, you mean I got to go over this same line 3 or 4 times? I can't just crank it down?
And just hammer it. Yeah.
And he was like, no, you like go over it, and I'm like, I don't have, which I've gotten to where I can actually go back over the line 3 or 4 times and it actually looks like it's on the same line. But in the beginning, it was just crank it down and whatever depth it was at whenever that was it. Cause there was no way that I was going to be able to do it. And he's like, no, you got to work it down. And I'm like, and then seeing the art stuff that people come up with, I'm like,
dude, I don't understand how these guys, I'm sure it's years of practice, but it's dumbfounding me to look at, like, no way.
Yeah. And Sean does that. Sean does metal art, and then Jamie Johnson and people like that. It's like, I don't even making, well, Sean just posted today that he had stencils that you could lay on a piece of metal and, put something on them and it draws out what it is, and like C-tags and Impalas and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's cool, but that would be as far as I could go, because how do you know which, or you do it the wrong way and all of a sudden now it kicks the metal the wrong direction and you're like, well, that panel's done.
Yeah, you didn't do the right line first before the other one. And it's like, all right, well, I got to restart.
Yeah. Well, I built a fan shroud for mom and dad. My mom and dad have a 65 Fairlane, and it didn't have a fan shroud. It has factory fan, but no shroud. And
yeah.
I had some metal here, and I was like, I think I can build a shroud. So I built it, and it was thinner metal. So I was like, oh, I'll just bead roll it. And I get all the way over, and everything's good. And I'm like, I look at it, and I'm like, oh, crap. 2 sides had it going down, and 1 side had it coming up. And I was like, and it's 1 piece of metal.
Like, yeah.
Like, all right. So lay it on the bench and hammer dolly it back flat again, draw your line again, and start. It's like, what if that had been a piece that you spent 3 days working on to get that art, and you mess up 1 line, and now it's. I'm like, oh, I would, yeah. I'd throw it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a big thing. I'm lucky if I get a straight line, let alone making some C10 out of one. Yeah. I mean, there's no way. I'll attempt a smiley face, but it's not going to look anything right either.
And Sean, we were hoping he was going to make it down for our show, and he says it's easier than it looks. And I'm like, me and you need to get together in the same room, because what you're saying does not. I'm like, that doesn't equate. I've watched people do that, and it's like, that's great. And, pinstriping, same way. On paper, it looks easy.
I've tried and tried, yeah.
And, we got a gentleman, he made a panel for the raffle for our show, and he made us a panel, and he's going to come over and try to help me understand it. But Ashley bought me a pinstripe kit, and I can draw a straight line. That's about as far as I can go, though. And
I would like to say that I could make some cool designs, but I can't mirror it like those guys do.
And watching him at the show do it, like he had, there was one of the pinup girls had like a little toolbox, because the theme for our show was retro racer. So she had like a little toolbox, and he just sticks it on the bed, like the edge of his bed. And he's like, just quickly like, boot, doot, doot, doot. Like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, how in the hell what the crap? How did you do that?
Yeah, because I'm sitting there still trying to plan out how I'm going to make 3 lines for 30 minutes.
And I'm like...
And these guys just knock them out.
And, we're walking around, I look over, and he's pinstriping on the side of his bed. He's showing Jackie from Saw Customs, because she's trying to learn how to pinstripe, and he's pinstriping on the side of his truck, and I'm like, are you... He's like, yeah. And then they get done, and he just takes whatever he had on the rag and wipes it off. I'm like, oh, so it's really just a reset. He's like, yeah. He's like, the clear coat's really good on my bed. He's like, so I just, before it dries, you make sure you wipe it off. I'm like, okay.
Golly.
But art with that. Not only like line work or, you see some of these guys do the sign, like the distressed, door, the business,
the lettering,
the lettering on the doors and stuff. And it's like, you made it look like it was old.
Yeah, from like the 60s.
And I'm like,
but I've had a hard time doing that. I try to attempt everything. But I will also happily go to a car show and pay somebody $60 to pinstripe it, just because I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, you got it going. You know what you're doing. I attempted 6 times. It's all yours, bub.
Well, and also with like pinstriping and stuff like that, we were at a local show, and there was a gentleman pinstriping, and the owner was like, yeah, I want this color, and this color. And the guy's like, it won't look good. He's like, it needs to be this, this, and this. And the guy's like, no, I'm telling you, that's not going to look good to me. And he's like, I'm telling you, if I do your colors, you're not going to like it. Trust me. And finally his buddy was like, hey dude, he's professional. Like, trust him. And it come out. Yeah. He's like, the guy was like, oh yeah, that definitely, you're right. That made way more sense, because the colors wouldn't have worked together with the base color. And I was like, oh, I didn't even, you wouldn't even think that of, what's going on, or even these guys that are laying out, Psychofab, that one of our advertisers, friend, buddy, supporter, the guy that's going to paint the Cadillac, he did the roof on his girlfriend's C10. And I was like, I don't even understand how you did that. How do you know where to tape? And he's like, oh, that's basic. I'm like, that doesn't look basic to me. But that was why whenever, so originally, the plan for the roof of the car was I wasn't going to know what it was. I was going to take the car up to him in an enclosed trailer. He was going to paint the roof, put it back in the enclosed trailer, and I was going to pull it home. And I was going to see it the day that we left for California with the internet. And people are like, you really don't know what he's doing? I'm like, no. And I said, because we worked something out, and I told him, he's like, what do you want? And I told him, I said, I don't want to tell you this and you think that, because I don't know what's hard. I don't know what's easy. I don't know what's whatever. I said, so I don't want to tell you something and you think that I'm taking advantage of you, but I also don't want to say something easy and you be like, well, that's not really showing off what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, I figured out pretty quick. You give them full reins, and it will surprise you every single time.
Yeah. So I gave him colors, and I was like, you can do whatever you want to do to it. And he sent me a couple, little teasers of, stuff that he's thinking of, and I'm like, yep, that works. Whatever.
Yeah.
And he did a Serape skateboard, and I was like, oh, that's dope. And he's like, yeah, no, you're not getting that on your roof. And I was like, I know. I watched how long it took you to tape a skateboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Cadillac roof is way bigger than a skateboard deck.
Yeah, no, that's a big old canvas for sure.
But so unlimited budget. I know you're doing the build off now, but unlimited budget. What's the dream build?
It would probably have to be a Model A coupe. I want a big old blower on it.
All right.
Something nuts that somebody looks at and be like, what the hell was this guy thinking? That's my favorite response on anything that I've built previously is like, all right, this guy's nuts or he needs help. That's kind of what I would go with. It'd be a Model A coupe, big blower, big block, big old set of zoomies on it. It would be just something rowdy.
Okay.
So I like noise. The sound is definite for me.
Yeah.
Whenever I was younger, I'd hear a car rev up. Yeah, yeah.
Nothing sounds better than a blower.
No, not at all. I was younger. These guys would rev up their cars. You'd feel it in your chest. That's what I want.
Is there a show or event that you try to make every year?
Actually, I got a few.
Okay.
And really, it's just because of the people that I've met at them. I usually start off my year at Tulsa Starbirds.
Okay.
And that's obviously it's in Tulsa, but the amount of rat rod guys down there that come from all over, and it's a 3-day event that's just nuts. You're constantly doing something. And the biggest part is you can hang out with all your buddies that you only see probably that one time a year, be able to catch up with them, talk about their life. It's more of one that you can relax at, but also have a damn good time at. And then probably after that one, last year was my first time going to it. It's called the Midway Moonshine Mashup. They're in Lebanon, and that place was nuts. It was super cool to kick it off because the night of, you got your party that we do there at the shop with Chet, and we do a tour. We actually drove up to the elementary school and all the rat rods and hot rods, and all the kids were standing outside just oohing and awing all over these things. And seeing their faces light up, then you'd hit the throttle. It'd scare the crap out of some of them. That was a super cool part. And then you go to the dirt track. You can run your car around the track, or they got the dirt drags. It's a really really cool time. Relics and Rods. It's in Wilburton, Oklahoma. Biggest reason why I go down there is because the guy that puts that on is a very nice guy, Vinny Roberts. Really got to know him the last few years. Super, super nice guy. He's actually in the outlaw class, I believe, and he is building something pretty wild. But he's just a down-to-earth, super, super nice guy. And the last show that I make it to every year, I'm one of the ones that help put on the show. It's a Burnout on 66 in Catoosa, Oklahoma, and that's the benefit car show that we do to help those families. So
very cool.
That's the main ones.
Is there a show or event that you've never made that you want to get to?
Rat stock. That's a big one. I would love to do that. Reason being is because around that time, money's tight all the time anyways, but I hate making excuses for sure, but it's just hard to take off that long and be able to make that. Yeah. And not only that, it's definitely a trip. I mean, from where we're at. So, but I would like to make that one day. Jerry and Tracy, super nice people, got to know them pretty good. So I've heard that they put a hell of a show on.
Yeah, that's definitely one that a lot of people that, you know, are into rat rods have said, you know, that's one of their must-have or must-attend shows.
Yeah. I've heard that from all my rat rod buddies, too, is like, look, man, you got to make the time to do it, but it does get hard around that time of the year.
And that's the thing about shows that aren't local to you. You know, you have to think about, you know, can I take the time off to go and like the Daryl Starboard show, that's on our list of shows to go to. This year, Zach Parks, Wired Customs is doing the live chop.
Okay. So, nice, man. Nice. Have you guys been there before?
I have not.
Okay.
It's never ran like we've last year we're gonna try to go, and then something come up right around that same time, and I'm like had to make a decision. And then this year, what we had previously said we were gonna go do was right around that same time, and you know it's a lot of times we have to pick and choose, like unless we can do it all in one rotation.
Yeah.
You know, and with being in Florida, you know, nothing is really en route. So it's like,
no, you guys, I mean, that's a heck of a trip there.
Yeah. So you're we're 3 hours before we can head in a direction. So like, other than north, we're heading in the wrong direction for 3 hours, and then we can head in the right direction. So, but then, you know, so Starbird, that's definitely on our list. And, you know, Randy Jackson, he'll be there this year, which he come to our show with the Gasser Garage. He came to our show last year. Him and Misty, his girlfriend, she's got a 53 Chevy, 210. And they towed his chassis research slingshot dragster on a homemade trailer from Oklahoma, Missouri to Florida, and then back.
No kidding.
So, you know, we definitely want to get out there eventually.
100%.
And that's why I asked that question, is because, you know, we kind of jot it down and figure out. I don't think we're ever going to be able to full time go to these shows, but you know, try to find out, you know, okay, we can catch this one this year. Next year we can catch that one, you know, because with the diversity, like I like cars. So, you know, I like the rat rods. I like the Hot Rod magazine definition of a rat rod. I like customs. I like patinas. My wife is a giant C10 fan. So we want to get out to Dino's eventually, but there's so many awesome shows, and now you're starting to see a a lot of shows that are popping up that are doing it for the love of whatever category or niche of their scene that they're in.
Yeah.
Which is, it makes me happy to see that it's not just I can put a show on and, make $1 million. I can tell you, if you put a show on to make money, you're going to mess up.
Yeah. And I mean, you're in it for the wrong reason at that point anyways.
Yeah. So, and you said the Starbird show being like that destination where you can catch up with your buddies that you may run into 1 or 2 times a year. Maybe they come closer to you one time. Maybe, Starbird's closer to them. And, it kind of, that's what it's all about is, catching up with old friends, meeting new ones, kind of getting ideas, especially when you're building something or, you go and you can see like, oh, okay, that's how he did that. And you can kind of adapt it to what you're doing.
Exactly. I mean, everybody's mind works different. Something that you're caught up on for 3 weeks, this guy's done 12 times. Like, it makes it nice in that aspect too, because everybody's out there to help everybody.
Well, and a lot of times, you just have to do it. So what you're hesitating, you're like, oh, I'll just hesitate. You're hesitating to do something because you're nervous or whatever about it. And somebody that's done it 15 times is like, oh, that's no big deal. Like we were talking about with the LS stuff. You've never done it, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh man, that's a ways, or that's that's this or that's that, and you're like, okay, well, and then all of a sudden now you can get you do it a couple of times, and now you can do it in your sleep.
Yeah, it just clicks, and it's like, what was I worried about? I mean, it does work out. So it's cool to see it work out too, knowing that all your work and everything kind of pays off.
Well, and that's the thing is you don't know. I mean, I just had that realization for anybody that watched the January clip of me looking like I'm sad in my car the night before the show.
Yeah.
It runs good. Just don't move.
Yeah.
And I'm 99% sure that which by the time this comes out, hopefully I've already updated people that I figured it out, but I'm 99% sure I know what I did. It was a rush and I made a mistake. And sometimes rushing.
I look forward to seeing that relief whenever it does work out for you.
Yeah. We're hoping to have at least one of our cars meet y'all in Mississippi.
That would be cool. That would be cool. That's one thing. I mean, I really look forward to meeting a lot of these guys, especially seeing their names pop up, the ones that were invited to this thing.
Yeah.
I've been friends on Facebook for 5 or 6 years. So to be able to finally put a face to the name is going to be super cool. And, I mean, to all the guys that listen to this that are part of the build-off, like, I mean, I look forward to meeting every one of you. And, I hope everything works out for each one of them.
Yeah, and I say this all the time is like I have a great group of friends that I've never met. I've talked on the phone with a bunch of them. Or maybe not even talked on the phone with them. Maybe it's always been through Messenger, but I know that if I have a question, I can call and they'll answer, or they'll message me back with, "Oh yeah, you're overthinking it," or "Try this," or what can I do to help? What can I?
Yeah.
I've had parts sent to us like, hey, I said on a podcast, hey, I need this part and I can't find it. What's your address? You're like, what?
Nice.
And they're, I don't use that crap. I remove it as soon as I get any 49 to 54 Chevrolet. I take the front end out, putting Mustang 2 in it. Well, I'm not to Mustang 2 on her car yet, so I need that part for that stock suspension. Oh, well, I think I got one behind the shop. I'll send it to you. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
and the same with the rat rod guys, or, you know, a lot of, you know, it's not just rat rod. A lot of the guys in the car world still hold that same value of, you know, let's work together. You know, it's not a competition. I mean, it is a competition, but it's not a competition. The victory is making it to Mississippi.
Yeah, and it is. And I mean, real quick example, like Simon Says Garage, like called him up probably last month, and it was whenever I first started talking about doing this LS thing. I know that he's done one, and talked to him, and he really just explained basically what you said earlier, is just do it. And talked to him for a while. Been friends with him forever, but that was the first time I actually talked to him. And I mean, I could tell right off the bat that, like, he's a super, super cool dude. He's out there to help, just like 95% of these other guys are. I mean, you got the few that, but I mean, that's kind of anything. But I can honestly say I've never met any of these guys that I've not gotten along with or thought that they were a good person.
Well, and also, you know, the ability to, or fortunately, there's not a whole lot that hasn't been done to some success. So if you get stuck with something, you can call and be like, hey, whether it's Simon, whether it's, you know, any of the guys, and say, hey, I did this and it won't do that. Okay, well, did you check this? No. Okay, well, go check that.
Yeah.
You know, transmission, the problem with the Cadillac. I posted that. A guy from South Georgia, Jason Cross, LS dude, calls me. He's like, hey, you got a laptop? I'm like, yeah. I don't have the cord to plug it in, though. I got a handheld. Okay. Check this. Okay, well, yep. Okay, undo your lines on your trans. Make sure you're getting fluid. And then 2 hours later, hey, you said you changed the pan, right? I'm like, yep. Did you get that filter seated right? I said, I remember making a comment that I don't feel like it's seated right. And he's like, that gasket is a real pain to get out of there. And I was like, yep, I remember that. And he's like, hopefully that's what it is. And I'm like, hopefully you're right. Because now it's a new pan gasket and a new filter. Not, you know, tearing a transmission apart, because me and transmission, that I know it turns one way and magic happens and then the drive shaft turns. All that stuff in the middle of it, I have no idea how it does it.
Yeah, I just leave that valve body on and I just let it do its thing, you know?
And
I'll change that filter all day long.
But. I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, he's like, well, does this work? Does, you know, is it showing this? Is it showing that? And I'm like, and he's like, okay, well, sometimes this happens. And I like paused and he was like, don't worry about it. If you check the fluid and it's not getting fluid and you check the filter and the filter's good, he's like, you're going to have to yard the transmission out of it again. And I'm like, well, that's on a car that sits on the ground. That's a little challenging, but I'll get it out if that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
And
it's not ideal, but
he goes, and I'll either tell you how to check the pump. He's like, or I'll load it up and bring it up to me and I'll take a look at it. I'm like, cool. I've never physically met the dude.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's the beauty of it all.
You know, being as somebody, he just wants to succeed. And a lot of the guys that I've talked to so far in the build off, most of them are just like, man, I want everybody to make it. I want everybody to be there. I want to meet everybody. I want to have a good time with people of like-minded, you know, yes, you know, and I talked about that with the trophies. Like, there's cool trophies that I would like to win, but I've never went to a car show to like win a trophy.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the same way, you know, with me, I like, if I get one, awesome. It is. I mean, it's cool to be able to see that something you built can earn that. But at the same time, if you don't win anything, I still went home with something. I was able to talk to those people, get to know new faces, and the experience is worth more than anything.
So you had mentioned the YouTube. Are you active on YouTube and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I actually put a video out every week. I try to anyways.
Okay. Where can people
and
find?
Reason being is, sorry. The name of it is Radical Rats Garage.
All right. I'll have Ashley tag that in the show notes.
Awesome, man. I appreciate
that. Where can people find you? Facebook, Instagram, any of that?
Yeah, Facebook. It's just Joey Woodall on Facebook, and pretty sure my profile picture is a car, the Model A, anyways.
But that'll also be tagged in the show notes below.
Okay, awesome.
What is one piece of advice that you would give somebody trying to get into car culture?
The biggest thing, man, is my main goal is to do it for the kids, because your creativity and your imagination and you letting them sit in your car or just climb on it, that alone is going to change that kid's day. It's going to change their thought and their aspect on a lot of these things. And it could get them involved in it. And if it doesn't, so be it. You made that kid's day. I mean, I've seen people with $100,000 cars, and I've seen people with $1,000 cars. These kids don't have access to a lot of that. So whenever they're able to be around that and see them light up and see their day just, brighten up, it's one of the best feelings, in my opinion. I love it.
Very true. And also, there's a sign, and try to have it at every car show that, we do, somewhere in this crowd is a kid that wants to be where you're at, or maybe it's a grown-up that wants to be where you're at. Give them a reason to be where you're at.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't do any good it doesn't help anyone to alienate somebody. It doesn't even matter if they're into what you're into. We did a little cruise in, and there was a younger guy that pulled up in a tuner car, and he parked way off in the thing, and he comes over and he's like, "Hey, I'm here for that." I was like, "Man, bring your car over here." "Oh no, like y'all don't want me parking by." I was like, "Yeah, dude, come on, bring it over here." Yep. He's like, and we got to talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I would love to have an old car." He's like, "I just can't afford multiple cars." He's like, I have to have a car that's reliable all the time. So I had to buy a new car, or a newer car. He's like, so I'm just doing little mods that, he's a family. He's a young man with a family.
Yeah.
And, I'm fortunate that I can have a daily truck that tows stuff, and I can have my car. Ashley, same thing. Yeah. Her daily should really get sold, because she doesn't ever go anywhere because she works from home. But the 54 is basically is going to be her daily. Yeah. But I don't care. I don't care if you're a mini truck guy. I don't care if you're a lifted truck guy. I don't care, traditional, shiny paint, concourse. I don't care what you are, as long as you have a passion and you understand that your car is not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But that one person that thinks that your car is cool, you may be the reason that they come back or they want to do that. And I've had everybody from squatted truck guys, which I talk shit on, because I didn't understand. I had a young man come on, and at the end of the episode, I told him, "Hey man, you are doing exactly what you need to do. You are trying to break the stigma that y'all are a bunch of heathens, because it doesn't do any good to get these shows shut down. Same with the drag strips. It benefits nobody to lose a drag strip. It benefits nobody to lose these shows. You go into these towns, and, a lot of times you're relying on that town to be able to support the bigger shows. If y'all are acting like heathens, they don't want you back.
Yeah.
Or now it's cops, or now, the little bit of fun that you can have, now all of a sudden you can't have it because what used to be, looked over is now created a problem where they have to address it. We were talking, one of the shows that we go to every year is Turkey Rod Run. And I was talking to a cop 2 years back, and I said, man, there's a lot of y'all out here this time. He's like, yep. He goes, we don't care if you're doing stupid stuff safely. He goes, but when you start endangering other people, he's like, we have to address it. He's like, we don't want to pull you over. We understand that there's going to be burnouts. There's going to be vehicles dragging. There's going to be that. We don't care. But when you take up 4 lanes to do it, now there's a problem because you're impeding people that are also just trying to go to work or trying to drive normally. I'm like, that makes a whole lot of sense. I was like, and that kind of stuck with me because I've been going to Turkey Rod Run since I was little with my mom, with my dad.
Yeah.
And I never remembered cops. There might have been a cop or two, leaving, for when you're leaving. But the year before last, there was cops everywhere. And it was because people are taking advantage of the leniency.
Yeah.
And then, you got that show that just happened. I think it was in Tennessee where they can't have it anymore. Was it, Low enough? No, Slammed it. Whatever. That show, they took over a gas station and were standing on the fuel pumps and standing on people's cars. And it's like, now the town's like, we don't want you back. It happened with the Daytona truck meet. Hey, we don't want you, we don't want you blasting your air horns. We don't want you doing this. We don't want you destroying the beach. They did it. Now Daytona's like, hey, we don't want you back.
And that sucks. Pretty bad because especially people look forward to that. And like we were talking at Starbirds, like you go there, you meet those people, not meet them, but you see them again. Mm-hmm. People were relying on those shows to see their friends and the people that they knew, and now they can't have that.
Well, and it's great. And there's businesses that rely on that.
Yeah. That's huge too.
There's a, small town, obviously if it's a show in Vegas, they don't really, the businesses aren't going to depend on that week of car show.
Yeah.
But Maggie Valley, South Carolina for the Southeast Mini Truck Nats, like those businesses depend on those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or Pigeon Forge Rod Run or, Daytona gets every, there's always somebody there because we live where people vacation. But, there's small mom and pop restaurants that depend on you coming to their place and patronizing their business.
Yeah.
But they also don't want to have to deal with shenanigans. Well, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Definitely my wife. The shenanigans that I put on and she's a saint. I love her to death. Dakota, if you've listened this far into this, I do appreciate you. She is, whenever I'm doing my stuff, like if the boy's not helping me, she's holding it down with him, especially at these shows. I appreciate her. So other than that, that's about it. So,
well, till next time, guys, get out and drive your shit. Later.